Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Keys to Mastery for September 19th to September 21st, 2022. For those of you who do not know me, welcome. My name is Arlene Grace, and I am a spiritual coach, an alchemist, numerologist, and conscious channel. So I invite you to take whatever resonates for you and leave the rest behind, and yet at the same time, allow yourself to open in the heart and to receive this energy, because there is an opportunity to shift as I share the energy, the frequency that is being channeled through. So as I was feeling into this energy, I could feel there was this invitation for rest, for repose, for reflection, and for recalibration. Now, many of you, if you follow astrology, you know that we are in Mercury Retrograde, and Mercury Retrograde is this time of slowing down. It's of reassessing. Many know it as the time when the X's come back, right? When things come back full cycle, in order for you to see it, to reassess it, to say no, to shift in the pattern. And many of you also know that this can reflect in our own technology, in the way that we communicate out in the world, the way that we communicate ourselves, conversations, maybe messages not going through on your phone, misinterpretation of messages that are coming through. It's this time of really crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Now, this Mercury retrograde is really assessing our relationships. It's assessing how we relate to ourselves, how we relate with others, how we are relating with our business partnerships, our bodies, our emotions, our minds, all of the things. It's really coming in communion. And as we move further deeper into the Mercury retrograde, we're then going to be looking at organizations, at systems, at you can find it's fascinating because today is the day where the Queen is having her funeral. I believe it's happening right now at this time as I record. And her representation of the matriarch, her representation of who she was in society, of all of the systems and programs that were put in place from this place of government, right? And how that is now going to shift and how that's going to change. And we can see that in society, where we can see how there are universities and colleges that are declining in their administrations, right? In how many children or how many kids, I don't want to say, how many young adults want to go to college or want to go to university. Many of that is declining, and it's because those systems are shifting, that those that have grown up and evolved and grown with society are no longer seeing this structure to meet their own needs. And so there's this shifting in education, right, per se. There's a shifting in government. We can see that there is this shakeup and this recalibration. So as we come into today's energy, we're coming into the 5 of clubs with a 7. Now, as I was tuning into the energy, it was interesting because I got this vision. I got this vision of the Hulk, right? The Incredible Hulk. Don't know if you guys know who that is, or the Incredible She-Hulk, and how she or he is this quiet, gentle, kind professor, I want to say, and through this energy of rage, they expand, they grow, they change shape, they shapeshift, they become something else, and they go and they take action. Now, many of those actions are for the good. Now, holding that in place, the energy today and the opportunity this week, because it's a theme, is to really pay attention to, are you bound by shame? Are you bound by shame? Are you bound in trauma? Do you have a trauma story? Now, this isn't to say that none of us have had traumas. I can speak to many traumas that I've had in my life, but the very holding of the idea that I had a trauma and this is what happened, I was abused, and so this happened with this, and so I hold this, it's really held by this web, this energetic web of shame that can keep you stuck and can keep you in this place of responding accordingly, responding in the same way that you did when you had this traumatic event. And so in this, there's this opportunity to see your patterns. to see how your body responds, to see how you respond when someone else shames you. Now, shame, we do it everywhere. It's actually a condition of humanity where we shame one another in order to manipulate and in order to control. We can see that in our home. We can see that within ourselves, where we shame ourselves. Imagine looking in the mirror and you're shaming yourself as you see your reflection in order to change yourself, in order to control, say, per se, you don't like your body. And so you shame your own self, you shame your own body, you body shame, in order that you go and change, or you go and you eat more food, or you go and you decide that you're going to work out, decide that you're going to bring in vitality and well-being, all of these things, right? So we do that to ourselves. We shame ourselves for the partner we choose. We shame ourselves for the job that we pick. We shame ourselves for decisions that we made in the past. Move that out into your family. And sometimes we get shamed by our parents. You know, many of us were raised with good boys don't do this, or little girls are quiet and look pretty, or I sacrificed myself. I sacrificed myself and I worked 60 hours a week so that you could go to school. Now you must do this for me, right? And so we do that in our families. We do that with our children. Our children do that to us. Now we move that out into society. Society does the exact same thing, right? A woman must be married by a certain age. She must have children. She must look like this. She must dress like this. She must be able to have a high-paying job, a home, 2 kids, have a clean house, have dinner on the table, have a kept man or take care of her man, have sex with the man, do all of these things and still be okay and look good and not age. All of these things that control how a woman should be, how she should look. Of course, she must be demure at the same time, or maybe strong, whatever that is. There's this shame that binds us in order to respond. We can see that in, as we were being raised as children in our own little communities. We had to have, I remember as a kid, we had to have, you know, our Club Monaco sweatshirts or our Root sweatshirts or Varney when we were little kids. We must have, you know, the great thing that was on trend, the Nike shoes, the Jordans, the this, the that. And we still do that today, right? In order to be a certain status, we must have the LV bag, right? Or the car. And if we don't, then we're shamed by society, shamed in our cultures. You must be married. You must marry for this. This is what you're marrying for. You know, marriage helps you to reduce your taxes, all of these things. And so all of these things on top of each other, shame, 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 control, manipulation, all of the things. But my question for you is, how do you respond? Because the shame itself is one of the lowest frequencies that we can hold in our body. And everywhere that we hold shame in our body, we actually have debt in our physical world. So take a look at your, you know, your account. Take a look at how you are as a steward of your finances, of your wealth. And shame itself creates a stress response. And so if we use money, for example, if we were to take a look at your relationship with money and being a steward of your money in the stress response of shame, because many of us feel shameful for how much money we do or do not have in our bank account, what our status is with our paying our accounts, borrowing money, overpaying certain things, wanting the coupons for certain things in order to get the discount, fighting to get the discount, all of the things. I mean, Black Friday, we have all of these people that want to go out there and get the deals. I'm one of them. But all of that carries this underlying undertow of shame. And so when you look at your own stress response, and of course, this is the awareness today, when you look at your own response to shame, are you in fight? Where you're just facing it and moving through it? Are you in flight where you run away from it and a bill comes in and you just don't open it, right? And so you just have a stack on the corner of your desk. where you start to get calls and that's when you start to act on it? Are you in flight where you run away from it, where you just don't pay attention to it, right? Did I just say that? Are you in freeze where you don't act on it at all? You just freeze. You just leave it. You ignore it. Or are you in fawn where you become passive with it and you try to shape yourself in order to be okay with it, where you avoid the conflict of it? And so when we just look at that at money, now take a look at that in your familial relationships, in your relationships with your love partner, with your romantic partner, with your boss, with your business partner, with your client, all of those things, because these patterns are rising up so that the shame can clear. So that you can notice your patterns with this awareness today. And you can come back into, oh, hold on a second. I'm being triggered by this experience where the undertow is shame, and I'm done with that. Where I can see that my partner is unconsciously, perhaps out of their own awareness, responding to me in such a way where they're wanting me to act on behalf of their own needs, not mine. Where you may yourself be doing that to another, to your children, to your partner, to your boss. There's this beautiful opportunity to shift out of that. And so imagine the Hulk, right? We'll bring him or her back into this space. And the Hulk, calm, kind, intelligent, all of these things, but when sparked by rage, was willing to break through the shame. What if the shame was here to ignite you into more? What if the shame was here to ignite you in releasing the patterns and actually seeing yourself? Because in all of this, in the grand scheme of it, there's this desire to be seen, for deeper connection, to be heard, to be loved, to be valued. But today's energy is inviting you to bring it back into, okay, well, do you see you through all of this idea of trauma or shame? Do you see yourself? Do you value you? Do you value what you do? You know, there's this interesting thing with young mothers where young mothers are here and they have these beautiful light beings. They have these beautiful children. And so they love and they nurture their child, right? Of course. And as they move forward with that after, 4, 5, 6 months, they start to hear other people, well, aren't you going back to work? Shouldn't you be doing this? Shouldn't you be doing all of this? And so they hear all of these ideas where being a mother to a new child is starting to be devalued. And so they themselves start to devalue the value of being a mom, of nurturing and caring for these little light beings, these little children, these new humans. And so in the devaluing of that, they start to lose sight of opportunities for wealth just coming in, even if they're on mat leave, or possibilities for flow of opportunities in different ways. And so do you value you? Not what you do you value you? Do you value this energy that's flowing through you, that inspires you to act as this amazing, extraordinary mom who's nurturing and loving and caring? Right? And pull that back and just kind of look at that through the lens of yourself. Do I value me? Do I love me? And not from a place of I'm going for self-care where I'm going to get my hair done, I'm going to get my nails done, I'm going to get a massage, I'm going to do all these things. No, pull back. Do you feel the energy of love that flows through your body? When you look at yourself, there's this interesting message that's coming through of, do you value yourself in partnership with another, but because you're with another, that's where the value is. Your value is in this place of, oh, I'm partnered up. I have a romantic partner, I have a husband, I have a boyfriend, I have a mate. Can you bring that back to yourself? I value me, and then I value my experience with my partner. I can feel things rising up from that. Right? And so in this, there's this beautiful opportunity to, well, your key today is to really raise your own perception of self. Do I see me? Do I hear me? Do I love me? Do I value me? Do I trust me? And do I act on behalf of that? Because if you are paying attention and you are holding yourself in this space of this web of shame, then you're being held captive in this web of deceit. And this deceit is this illusion of how you see yourself. And so, will you see yourself? Will you see that you are extraordinary? Will you see that you are magnificent? Will you see that you are high effing value? And then we move into Tuesday, right? And so Tuesday, after this awareness of all of these things rising up, all of these places where, the shame has held you, there's this opportunity to come into acceptance and release that. And the releasing can be through the forgiveness technique, whatever forgiveness technique works for you. It can be through facing it, feeling it, freeing it. For those of you who are willing to face whatever is rising up in the body, to feel it and to shift your own emotion with that, not to ignore it any longer, but to actually feel it in the body and free that while claiming, I'm done with this pattern. And noticing for yourself where you may be trying to hold another person captive, where you may be trying to control another person, where you may be trying to keep a person in your life, when really and truly they are falling away. Because today, on Tuesday, this energy is very emotional with an opportunity to shift. Now, the shift can be in the shift in dynamics in your relationship to your body, to your relationships with your love partner, with your clients, with all of these things. It feels like there's this new wisdom that just drops in. You're like, boom, whoa. Something has changed. Something has shifted. My perception, my awareness of where I may have been behaving or someone has been behaving with me may have been held by this energy of shame, and I'm done. And so I hold no transgressions of anger or rage or frustration or all of those things, or maybe I do, and I'm willing to let that go. And the letting go is letting go of the story and letting go of the emotion, right? The wisdom drops in. We can let go of everything. And in everything, we can let go and surrender into, okay, I'm going to move with this. I'm going to move with this so that I can move forward with this. I'm no longer going to hold this story in my mind and continue to bring the past here. And I'm no longer going to allow myself to be held in place with something that doesn't exist in this moment. I'm going to be here now. And if that means that someone is going to fall away out of my life, then that's okay. For those of you who may have exes coming back into your life, it's a beautiful opportunity to just reassess, to see how much you've changed, not to jump into a relationship again. It may not necessarily mean that, right? People may be coming back into your life just to reassess, and they may not physically be coming back into your life, but they may be coming back to life in your own mind. And so just noticing these things, because your key today is to continue to move forward with these new awarenesses so that you can come into this deepening and anchoring into this perception of, okay, I see where I used to think, I see where I used to be, but I'm no longer that. And so I'm not going to jump back into the past. I'm going to move forward by allowing myself to be pulled by who I am now. Right. And continuing to flow in relationship with who I am now, moving forward. That I see my high value, that I see the love that is within me, that I see me, that I hear me. If you're aching for someone to see you, then more than likely there are parts of you that you are not yet willing to see. And it's amazing how many people are not willing to see their own magnificence, their own magic, their own brilliance, their own extraordinary, their own value. Because in order to see that, they must let go of the story. And so let go of the story, let go of the past. As we move into Wednesday, Wednesday is a day of, action. It's a day of expression. And so if we're continuing on this journey, again, there's this, it feels like you're on the fence, right? You're on the fence of, okay, I have all of these awarenesses, but my pattern is that I fight or I flee or I freeze or I fawn. And there's this beautiful opportunity to really like, boom, but I'm done. But I'm done with the pattern. And I'm willing to express myself in new ways. I'm willing to express and communicate who I am, where I'm going. I'm willing to express from the value of who I am. I'm willing to express from that high value. And I'm not doing it from a place where I'm doing it to manipulate another person, meaning I am high value. And because I'm high value, you better change. No. It's simply expressing that you are high value and you're willing to leave. And you're not willing to leave because of punishment or because it's a threat, but you're willing to leave because you're willing to go in the direction of what you truly want. And so your key today is to really be that. If shift can happen in a moment, if transmutation, if transformation can happen in a moment, to imagine that you're walking through this veil of I'm transforming. And as you come into Wednesday, to fully decide, I am transformed. And I am willing to express that. I'm willing to trust myself because this is an energy of deep trust so that I may receive the blessings. So that I may allow for myself to continue to evolve. And so there is this opportunity to change, to grow, but the change and to grow is to shift your own perception of who you are, right? To perceive yourself as this beautiful being of high value, of deep love, and walking in the direction of, I want deep connection. I want deep connection with my partner. I want deep connection with others. I want to see myself as I am now mirrored in others in all of my relationships with my children, with my family, with my community, with my friends, with my lover, with my husband, whatever, with my body. And so as you continue to move forward, you want to invite in this deep trust for you today. Because it really feels like this entire week is very transformative. And it can be simple. It can be as simple as if I valued myself highly, what would my thinking be? How would I be expressing myself? What would my actions be? That simple. Not easy, but simple. Awesome. All right. I think that is everything. Any questions, comments, please feel free to share. Let me know how this resonates for you or doesn't resonate for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, love, subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in the spaces. So much love to all of you. Happy Monday. Bye for now.